All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And today I bring to you VJ Smith. And the first game he's going to be running is Aliens, a comic book adventure, Regicide percent. So I will let you take it away. Enjoy.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll start up the game, and while the game is booting, I will show off two things. So I own this game physically in both the EU edition and the USA edition. We are playing Red Side Percentage on the EU edition because this is unstable as hell. It crashes all the time, so the EU one is a bit more stable for that. There's a few issues this game has. In terms of why the categories are different. So Regicide Percentage is, instead of just getting into the base and getting out, we're actually rooting in a boss fight against an alien queen. This is a point-and-click adventure game with combat, and not a visual novel, by the way. The amount of people that keep going, oh, you run a visual novel. I don't. It's not a visual novel. It is actually a point-and-click adventure game. But so yeah, Regicide Percentage is we root in an optional Alien Queen boss fight, and so time. So first bit of check is I have to have the cursor here to the left-hand side of the play game button. So time will start in about 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So this game has a bit of a storied history to it. So this is actually based more on the Dark Horse comics than it is the actual Aliens movies. And because of that, Fox decided to trash the license on the game just after it was about to be released, and they weren't able to secure the rights back, and then it fell into limbo. So first thing we need to do here is... Oops, I actually clicked on the wrong one. No, last wasn't thinking too much. So the tech for this is we can't skip audio lines. We can skip text, but we can't skip... we can skip audio, but we can't skip it if there's text on screen. So we need to get the screen keycard off of Laura. And we do this by doing a dialogue puzzle that only works when you come out of talking to her and come back in talking to her again. And she has... I love the facial expressions on this.
Dumb broad, that's what my last boyfriend said as he was walking out the door.
Yeah.
I'll end up believing it. In the meantime, the dumb broad has to live with all this crap in
the
her
voice
face.
acting isn't bad for
the
these.
peace and quiet, the isolation,
the alien isolation. I will never stop making that joke.
You're not the only one.
Never.
got something to say.
I love shock face. Unfortunately, we don't get to see too much of the crew talking. But there is also some cool stuff here. Like, see in the bottom right-hand corner, we have this Erickson, Laura, O'Connor, Williams. We have these meters next to them. Means nothing. There's supposed to be a mechanic in this where they're like have these morale and interpersonal interaction stuff. Wasn't implemented fully, but the meter is still there. There's also a hunger mechanic, and we're going to be completely ignoring it because we're going to play the game fast enough where they won't actually faint from hunger, but they will bitch about it, and hopefully see that later on the run.
Why didn't you do something?
Unfortunately, again, we'll just have to wait for this dialogue to finish doing. One of the fun things is on escape percentage on the USA version, this puzzle is actually skipped because you start off the game with the green keycard. It's actually patched out of the USA one.
You seem to be getting curious.
So yeah, she's finally given us this. What are we doing, by the way? I actually haven't even said that so far. So we're on board a ship. We got woken up from a distress sequence, and we're going to investigate it, but we're going to hit an asteroid field unless we get some sensor data. So grab the keyboard. We need that later on. Grab a blank CD because optical media is the way of the future. And we're opening this cabinet here and taking out a keycard. So now we need to go all the way back down to this computer here. And there's a fun thing that can happen that if you're trying to skip dialogue here. So I'm trying to use the security pass here as fast as possible. Because if the alarm starts going off when text is on the screen, it actually won't skip like that. I actually couldn't skip that until the Siren Knights had actually finished playing because the game is all over the place. So we have a new disc made with the landing data, and now we can land. So this is Williams. We gave him the landing data.
Now prepare for landing, people.
Here. And this is actually a bunch of like mini cutscenes, so I'm just mashing the spacebar to skip them. So you can't skip the entire cutscene, you skip 3 seconds and then the next 3 seconds plays and you skip that. So just mashing the keyboard. So the main reason we got the green keycard is we can't get into the ship's landing area or cargo hold without it. So we use this. And we need to go grab some weapons. So first off, we use the panel, we use the panel, we use the panel, and we use the panel. That takes the laser gun out of the storage. And then we come in here, and of course we need to use the panel, go on, and use the panel. Now we have the laser gun, but not quite. We have to open the box, and you can skip this cutscene because the audio finishes before the cutscene does, so it's actually faster to do that like that. So we're going to change view here, and we're going to see our first combat in a second. But before we do that, we all get to suit up into our super cool exoskeleton suits. And the game is mean. It actually has you facing the wrong direction here. You have to turn around and then go here. Otherwise, you take the suits back off and you walk back into the base. It's great. Now you can see our first bit of combat. I'm skipping the mini cutscenes here. So it's a robot. This might remind you of Fallout, but it's actually real-time combat. We're holding the right mouse button and moving it up and down. We're hoping for crit hits. Like that. That was a crit hit there where you see like the double head whack. And it wasn't actually an unmanned robot, there was a guy in it. And he's a lot of lore to tell us, and we're just mashing the exit button because we don't care about any of the lore in this. She's a ship's medic, by the way, so when she says, shit, he's dying, that's her medical professional opinion. And now the crew are going to berate you for killing him. There is no way around this, you have to kill him. And also, he's no reason to kill you either because he's trying to get away from the xenomorphs on board the base. But yeah, we'll see a few more lines of Laura just not being a very good medic in a bit. So now we're into the ship's base, and we need to find Professor Church is in charge of the space. We're trying to find him, so it's all about him. So first off, we're going to swap over to Laura's inventory because each one has their own individual inventory. So swap over to Laura, and we're grabbing the first part of the X scanner, which is a piece of the X scanner. It could come in useful. And then we're coming over here, and we're using this switch to lower this, and we're grabbing this. It's a piece of an X scanner. Could repair it. It would be pretty useful. So, fun fact on escape percentage, you don't need to do any of the X scanner stuff, but we need to get extra weapons for fighting the alien queen, so we need to do it. Single pixel check and point click. So, click on single pixel there to open this, and then we meet the most annoying character in the game. Comedy sidekick security robot. I'm just going to click very carefully on take because I do not want to listen to him. He goes on for ages and he's really annoying. He's been infected with a virus by person or persons unknown, so he won't actually help us. So we need to deprogram him. But before we do that, we need to come up here and turn off the ship's SOS so we can actually look at Colonel Crespi. Medic! Ew, a dead body! But he has... I wonder who he is or was. To try to read his name patch, because it starts with a C, but it's not Crespi. I actually have a copy of it here. It says this.
Crespi. Colonel Crespi? Isn't he the one
Yeah.
that sent the SOS?
Also, they're trying to read the wrong half, the name tag that's covered in blood, which is I love. They can't read the last half, but the first half is the one that's actually free. She cuts off his hand, by the way, and starts making the "hope you don't mind if we borrow this" joke. So she went from "ew, a dead body" to like let's just make ghoulish jokes. It's fine. So I have a PC terminal here, and we're just going to dump the robot into it, and We'll hear him talk briefly. This is the level of humor he has.
I apologize, but it's not easy to shut up when you're programmed to communicate.
I am mashing this exit so fast right now.
Fromage. Oh, I'm sorry. That was French, wasn't it?
He's quirky, get it? He's super annoying. So we are now coming all the way back here, and let's go back into the room we were just in. And the only reason we want him is he can open this locker for us. And then we get a piece of the next scanner. We might be able to repair it. And now we can go up to the top half of the base. Now, fun thing you can do in this is you can actually destroy parts of their inventory. So I'm going to get rid of him. So right-click on him. Do you want to destroy this object? Press yes. Bye-bye. Don't have to do that. It's just cathartic because listening to him talk is super annoying. And if you misclick on him, he just goes and talks for way too long, and he just like reset a run straight off the bat. This one is mean. You have to actually use the keycard from all the way back there and not in front of it. And now we come in here into the comms room, and we have, you guessed it, a piece of the X scanner. So it's in Laura's inventory. Williams is the one repairing it. Whose inventory do you think it's going to be in? That's right, O'Connor's. Why? Hell, damned if I know. So we're going to turn around here, and on the floor of the comms room is all of these mines, which is great. So we're just going to grab a few of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should be enough, yeah. And we are going to go down and just fight some facehuggers. Now, you might be asking, why aren't you just using the gun? The gun actually has issues in this fight, and we'll show them in a second. And if we have to resort to it, hope we don't. So we had to build the X scanner solely because this secret panel, really sorry, you can't open it unless you have the X scanner in the inventory. And it's a hidden base, and we're hoping to get attacked by a facehugger straight away. Perfect. So we open our inventory and we swap over to Williams and we take out a mine. The facehugger is gone. So what I believe is actually happening here is the facehugger attacking you is a character animation, so it gets rid of the facehugger on the ground and instead changes it to a player animation. But when you open the inventory, it resets your character animation to default standing one, and then there's no finish animation to respawn the facehugger, so it's just gone. So it's faster to just get attacked and take a facehugger to the face than it is to do anything else. Now I can't place the mines down anywhere. Please stay put. Come on. Because I have to be close enough to an enemy to actually do it. And we're just going to throw down some stuff here. If I run out of mines, because I need to keep a stack of 2 anyway. Come on. This is the biggest RNG because like you might remember in Alien Romulus, if you've watched it, how really smart and scary the facehuggers seem to be. Trust me, this is nothing on this. It's completely RNG if they turn around, what direction they pick, how long they keep walking in the direction, and I can't really push the mine ahead of them too much. Come on. I got one. And I'm actually going to try walking into this guy. I don't want to walk into the mine, so I'm giving it a second. So I'm just going to try walk into this facehugger, and you'll see him actually struggle to try and find me. There we go. So you saw it immediately ended the encounter. That's because the facehugger was gone. 4, 5, do I have one here? Take one more. These are the grenades. So the only reason we came down here was to get these grenades, because we need these for killing the alien queen. And we are skipping like crazy to come all the way back. There's all like mini cutscenes here where it's just, again, we're just hitting space to skip like door openings and whatnot. Now there's a chance the game can crash in a second, but it'll be fine. So there's a force field here, and this is O'Connor, and we need to check and see is the force field safe to get through.
It looks dangerous. I just don't have the right equipment to test it.
I do. Allow me. After you. Yep, it's dangerous.
As you can see, these are professionals, the best of the best.
You son of a...
I didn't have to actually show that off. I just love showing it because O'Connor's actually an asshole, so it's fun. And then we have to use Crispy's hand here on the hand scanner. And now the game can crash here coming into the lab. It's fine, but it can also crash here in the lab complex. I'm going to open the door here on the right. Fingers crossed it won't. Oh, it didn't. We're fine. So you're turning right, going here. And we need to go down to Professor Short's hidden lab. We don't want to go into that room. There's a survivor in there. We don't want to talk to him because it's slow. And also, we're not going to be many survivors in this. So we go left. We go right and we click on this. And if you forgot to pick up the keyboard at the very start of the game, you need to go all the way back to the ship and into your quarters to pick it up.
A really simple code system.
Luckily enough, we don't need to worry about the code because it's the same every time. So it's M Y Y R M I D O N. Enter. I have to really careful because you're entering the wrong code. It's an instant death game over. So here's a synthetic alien. So in other words, we have the synth like Bishop from the movies. This is a synthetic alien that Church built, and it has one function: used as a glorified key. So there's a hive on board this base, and there's a lot of really interesting reasons for why it's there, but we're going to skip all of that. So we're going to do a bit of tech here. We're going to save. I was going to save over the first stuff. I'm going to quit the main menu, and we do this by pressing the right mouse button anywhere on the main screen. I pressed it once and actually took a double entry there. So if you accidentally click the right mouse button, you quit straight to desktop, no save. So we load the save back up, and because of how the game works, it doesn't save your exact location, it saves what hub you're on. And we're in the lab complex. This puts us right at the start of the lab after it plays the cutscene of you getting into the lab. So we need to come in here, and it's not technically faster to do that, but I just like showing off because it is tech. If you'd like one more room to go through, it would actually be faster, but it's just slightly slower to go that way. So we are coming up to the alien hive here, so up one more step, right? Warning for headphone users, by the way, there's a loud noise when you open the alien, when you try to come into the hive. It's a really loud guitar sting. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just really annoying. So the synthetic alien opens the hive for us, and then we never see it again. And then we use the rope to climb into it. So, fun fact. If we save now, we soft lock. Because if you reload back at the start of the lab hub. The rope and synthetic alien are gone. So you can't actually reopen the hive because the hive would not be opened. So now we're in the alien hive. We have two options. Go left, which goes straight to Professor Church, or we can go right to kill the alien queen. This is regicide percentage. We're going killing us an alien queen. There's a lot of extra lore here because if you go explore the lab complex, and you can find little lab notes, and you can talk to one or two of the other survivors. They don't live very long, and you can get some more information what's happening in the base, what experiments they're doing. But we actually miss all of that, and that's actually going to affect how we finish the game.
How are we going to get up there?
They keep berating O'Connor there for being an alien nut job, and there's some kind of dynamic where they're not sure if he's a synth or not, and that it's completely just tossed by the side of it, like 2 lines of dialogue if you talk to him and share them. So we're going all the way through this alien hive. Now, regicide percentage on the UK edition of this, we don't have random encounters in the hive. Unless you take the wrong path. On the USA version, you have random encounters up the ass. Every time you click has a chance of starting a random encounter. So here's the alien queen, and we are going to kill her in a very specific way. So first off, we need to take out stop back to Williams. The game never remembers what you had open for the combat search, is annoying. We take out these mines first of all, and we need to put them next to these eggs. Because if you walk next to the eggs, it actually spawns a facehugger. And if you kill the facehugger, the egg can then actually still spawn an additional facehugger if you walk next to it. There's actually a funny glitch you can do where if you walk next to it, open your inventory and look at my health just dropped to nothing. What? You saw that, right? I wasn't even hit. My health just dropped. Oh, this is actually bad. I wasn't even hit. Why did my health drop? Oh, this game. That's actually rare as hell. That's like the third time I've seen that bug. I'm actually going to have to load a safety save after this fight. Do I do it now? No, I'll see if I can get through the fight in one go. This is actually... Damage is RNG. It should be RNG that walking bloody takes off my 99% of my health bar, so this is literally 1 HP in a dream. So I actually might take a death here. Pathfinding here is ridiculous, so I'm probably going to hit in the back of the head now in a second. This is probably be a death. Nope. Her health bar, by the way, is trash. Don't ignore that. It means absolutely nothing. It can be it'll always be either half or like that little kind of sliver. Makes no difference whatsoever. I need to swap. I need to throw this last grenade out, and then I need to quickly swap over to the bottom left one. If we try this with the gun, it just won't work. She just does not take anywhere near enough damage with the gun. That guy in the robot we killed at the very start, he actually tells you that guns are useless against him, and he's not wrong. They work against the face huggers, although the hit detection is really bad. But the actual full blown xenomorphs and Alien Queen, they do absolutely nothing. Be really careful. I don't want her hitting me. Because it's not the last combat encounter we have. And the last one is actually super dangerous. So I'm not too happy I lost that much health. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Perfect. So I'm going to throw another grenade out at her. And then swap over to this, and then I immediately need to start walking because... don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make me restart the combat. Please. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. Damn it! Right, I have to reload it. Save to save. That was unfortunate. It's like the worst possible RNG you can get you can get in this game. So yeah, we're just going to load this. I have to restart the game entirely because the game actually has kind of a weird... It doesn't clear the states of stuff properly. And load safety. It doesn't actually clear the states of stuff properly when you do it. When you load from in-game, you have to actually quit out the main menu to do it. So we'll try this again faster. I can be a bit more risky now because I have more health. We shouldn't hopefully get the same bug twice because that would be super unfortunate. Again, that bug is so goddamn rare. I think I've only seen it maybe 3 times. And we have to lure the Queen in this specific kind of pattern because she's actually the slowest for walking. God, come on down here. She's actually the slowest walking in this direction. So it gives us the most amount of time to actually throw grenades at her. And we're hoping for fast grenade throws. That's a slow one. We're hoping for the fast ones like that, where it throws out instantly. It's complete RNG what he actually speedy throws it out at. So we have to lure her up here as much as possible to give us as much time, because if she starts moving down too fast, she actually just immediately turns around and starts going for you. 2, 3, 4. You can try and be brave with some of the hits, and I probably will later on. She takes about between 12 and 19 grenade hits. That's how bad the spread is for the damage. So I'll to the next pile of grenades. You have to actually keep a really close eye on your ammo. For now, we'll see a trick in a second. So we throw more grenades at her. And she's going to hit me in the back of the head. That's fine. As you see, she did no damage there. Again, the damage here is completely RNG if she'll do a quarter of your health, which is fine, or she'll do no damage whatsoever. Obviously, no damage is better, but that one where he just took the full hits for nothing. So it's up back to the last grenade on the bottom left again. So there's 6 grenades in each stack. So we use the bottom right one once, we use the bottom left one once, and it's after respawning. It's actually now glitched. I don't know what causes this, but looking up the saves that I have, I can show it off. It seems to be depending on what order you pick up items and what health you have and the timing. And that's the queen dead. And that's the reward, that one cutscene. And we need to go all the way back through the hive to church. Yep, there's absolutely no reason to kill the queen. Go left, we go left again, and then we keep going straight. It doesn't affect the ending, there's no extra dialogue. Church doesn't care that you did it. And next one, turn right again. And we're going to get the best music in the game, which is Church's theme, because he has a little hideaway observatory. And he is very trustworthy, as was here by his team and his actions. So here's Church. He's covered in gore, lying in stuff. And this music, you can talk to him, but because you got none of the background, he just lies to you.
This is my favorite place. You can see some fine specimens of aliens from here through this impervious.
He might be crazy.
Specially designed to resist their assaults. Anyway, you'll soon be able to observe them up close and in person.
So I can see there's like 6 aliens there. No, there's actually 2. And it's the only time we kill xenomorphs in the entire run. Hope you enjoyed them. So the queen is dead, and we killed some facehuggers, and we killed those 2 actual xenomorphs. That's it. There's no more in the game. Other time you can find more xenomorphs is if you go the wrong way in the hive, then they're a random encounter spawn, or if you play on the USA version, they're RNG if they'll spawn or not. So we just hop back over to Laura for more inventory. So grab the blue keycard here, and this has to get into the other part of the lab. So we could save and restart back up at the top of the stairs, but it's actually slower to do that. So we're going to actually skip that and just walk up the stairs, because you can skip faster than you can load. We've got another cutscene here where we actually see the rip off the plot of Alien Resurrection, because they're actually trying to make human alien hybrids.
Hey, look at this.
So this game is actually based on a specific Dark Horse comic miniseries called Aliens Labyrinth. It's a very loose adaptation. Like Crespi is the name of the guy who gives this order for SOS, and Church is the guy in charge of this entire complex to experiment with aliens, and he's trying to build alien human hybrids. That stuff is the same, and it looks like they were going to start doing this in the game, and then they kind of scrapped that plot line. And it's more like they want to make royal jelly because it's used as a narcotic, and all that stuff unfortunately we were missing because of the lore. So we grabbed this guy's hand. No smart comments about borrowing it this time. It's just exit. This one is mean again. It turns you around, face the door for no reason. And I'll show off a fun bug. So if we come through here and look to the right, that says entrance zone A. It's not. That's the underzone. This is entrance zone A. It's actually the wrong graphic on that cutscene. So we're very near endgame at the moment. So we are heading all the way back down. So we found Church. Church stole our ships. We need to find another way out. And in order to do that, we need to drive over to a bunch of colonial marines who have landed at the other side of the complex. But we need to get a vehicle over. The vehicle is right there. Unfortunately, out of fuel. So we need to turn on the fuel tanks so we can actually get it. Williams is the only one who can pick up this metal pipe, and that starts off this combat encounter. And it's actually faster to use the grenades or the mines here than is grenades. We still have infinite grenades, by the way. Which is very useful later on, and we just wait for these guys to die. The reason why it's faster to use the mines here is that the grenades, you actually have to turn around and then throw them. The mines, you don't have to do that. He just automatically puts them down. So with William selected with the pipe, he automatically turns on the fuel, and we are very close to the end of this.
Did you hear a noise?
This is actually on a timer. If you take too long in each section, the aliens will actually start breaking in, and that's the timer for this part. So we've, don't worry, we're fine. We're not going to see them. So we need to refuel the tanker, or refuel the vehicle, and swap back to Laura because there's a hand scanner. That's why I grabbed the hand in the lab. And because we have done none of the lore, the colonial marines at the end of this don't know that we're actually innocent, and they'll shoot us on sight. So we're going to combat encounter with them. On escape percentage on the USA version, that's actually glitched. You'll never have that combat encounter. So this is a fun thing for red side percentage for an extra combat, which is why I was worried as hell from not having from having taken too much damage before I died at the Alien Queen. Okay. So this is dangerous as hell. It's actually the most dangerous fight in the entire game. So we're quickly swapping over to Williams, and we're grabbing out the grenades, and we hope for fast grenade throws, and because these guys are completely RNG what they want to do. We don't want this, we don't want this, and there we go. They can just take time, and that's time, sorry, that is time. So yeah, that is Aliens, a comic book adventure. Yeah. I'll let the ending cutscene play out because we're doing okay on time here. But did you see the space jockeys there? There's an entire subplot we entirely missed out where if Laura takes Royal Jelly, she hallucinates that there's a inter-hive war between two different Alien Queen factions, and the space jockeys are here to kill this hive. So all the stuff we've done on that planet is useless because yep, everything you could have done on that planet is gone. Church escaped, and he took his research with him, and it kind of sequel baiting here, but there is no sequel. So yeah, we do end in a kind of sitcom moment here.
All that research.
The hell with Church. His findings will always be there to be rediscovered. Our precious behinds, that's what counts.
Let's hit the Cryros. Cryo Interactive made this. I think that's a joke. That's why it's capitalized.
Why, Doctor? You aren't impressed by those creepy science types, are you? I mean, someone of your moxie would see right through that kind of nonsense.
Don't you ever quit.
Hey, wait a minute. There's something behind the glass.
Where? What?
Oh, God, it's an alien.
Duck and cover. Where's my rifle?
Oh, my mistake. It was only Harrison's reflection.
They all have traumatic experiences. They're all heavily armed, and she just said, like, "Hey, an enemy over there attacking us." You know. And that's the end of Aliens, a comic book adventure. And if you hold left mouse button, it burns through the credits for some reason. So that's one game down. So then we had Alien vs Predator, and then Aliens Comic Adventure back to back for Aliens. But we have one more Aliens game ahead, and that is Alien Virus. So we're going to go from official Aliens games to a knockoff. So I'm just going to get my stuff ready here. So, and give me a second here. So, yeah. Okay. So, this is Alien Virus. So this is a budget game back from the 90s, point-and-click adventure game as well. Basic story of this is your your girlfriend, not your sister, Jesus. Your girlfriend was on a research station, and you go away for a month, and you fly your ship back, and all of a sudden it's gone quiet for some reason, and nobody's around to be found. Whatever could it be? It's xenomorphs. It's always xenomorphs. But legally distinct aliens this time around. Now, it's called Alien Virus. There is no virus, but we'll get to that later on because it's right at the end of the game we actually find out what's actually happening here. But before we start, I just want to point out one thing here. Does this logo look a bit sus to anybody? Does it look like it's venting to anybody? No? Yeah. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's basically the Among Us logo. Okay, so I'll start countdown time. So as soon as I skip this cutscene, we're good to go. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Skip. So we're actually using the keyboard as well for this run. So we're using the shortcut keys here. O for open, C for close, T for take, that kind of thing. And U for use, and unfortunately you can misclick here like crazy because it is a pain. One of the things this point-and-click adventure game does differently from others is you kind of keep the same inventory and you reuse stuff all over repeatedly, which is really nice. This one I hate. So you take this cloth, you use this cloth in this water bottle on the side, and you take the cloth to get a damn cloth. This is for the stupidest puzzle in the game. Well, second stupidest, but we'll see. So we got a battery, and we need to charge up our ship, and we use it on the robot, and we get him to open the door for us. And I'm skipping some of the cutscenes here because some of them are literally just a guy opens the door or something stupid for this. One of the main puzzles in this game, though, is use the panel to open the door. I'm not making this up. We can actually start counting it if we want to do. So we're coming here to get a key card, and we're coming all the way back out because there's a lot of backtracking at the very start of this for some reason. And we have to talk to the robot, and we give him... There's no shortcut, you have to click it. We give him the key card, and then we come all the way back in. So it's a blank key card, and he puts the door access codes on it. It's just busy work. And there's 2 doors here we need to open, so we use key card on the door panel, use key card on the door panel. I said use the key card on the door panel. Game loves using inputs, by the way. And we take this light bulb, and we use it here to get the light working. We take this jar, we put the damp cloth into the jar, and now we have a jar of water. You can't pick up the jar and bring it over to the water jug. You have to do it this way. It's the only way. By the way, gorgeous art, nothing to do here. Gorgeous art, nothing to do here. Gorgeous art, you just come in here. Gorgeous art, nothing to do here. A lot of effort went into the wrong things here. And then we have stuff like this where there's just a cardboard box in the ground with some dynamite, as you do. And then you open up this cupboard, and then it has a socket wrench in it. And then you come back out. So there's a lot of effort went into a lot of stuff that they could have just made the game a bit better. And so I'll show something off in a minute. I actually meant to do the start run, but I actually forgot, but I'll show it in the cutscenes. So we're going to use water on this guy because he's really thirsty. Then we ask him, hey, have you got anything I can take? And then we say, thanks, buddy, bye. And then we leave him. And he's going to live a long and happy life. Actually, kind of is because we haven't talked to him, so kind of is. So he doesn't die unless you talk to him too much. So we use a key card to open the door. So again, use the door panel to open the door and come in here. We need to take this flare, and then we need to use the socket wrench on this to take the fire axe. And we use the key card on the door panel, so use the door panel to open the door. And there's a safe. We got some dynamite. This is an adventure game from the 90s. Of course, we're using the dynamite to open the safe. Okay, so we need to turn off the fire, or we need to turn on the fire suppression system and go back in. Luckily enough, this game does the one thing nice, where if you open the door with a key card, it stays unlocked. You don't have to reopen it. So we open the first one, and then only have to use the fire axe to actually pry it open, and you get a resizer gun. And resizer gun is a cool mechanic that is really underused in this. So there's a hidden button here we need to use to turn on the panel, and we open this drawer. And then we use the key card to open up this. And because security is so great on this base, we just talk to the ship's AI. Ask him, hey, can you add my handprint to the security, to the ship's security? He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. Just use the hand scanner back here to... We now have admin access on board the ship. Why? I don't know. InfoSec guys would be actually screaming like, what the hell do you mean you can just walk up and say that? So we use the door panel to open the door. We just open this door. We don't have to use the door panel, so it's a different puzzle this time. Just open the door instead of use the panel next to it. And then we need to use the socket wrench on this locker to get this food behind it. If you don't do this, you soft lock yourself later on. And we open this door, and we get used to the resizer gun, which makes stuff bigger. We use it to make a stepping stool. That's it. And we turn around here. So this map, this is actually has some instant death stuff here. You can actually get a map of it, but it's the same locations all the time, so we don't need to worry about doing that. Once you have it memorized, you're fine. He said immediately, wondering, did he click right? I did, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, if you take a wrong step there, one of the fans in the ground is on, and you can't even leave the room. If you try it, you just immediately die. If you didn't pick up the flare, you die here because you're scaring off this guy. And I let this guy's...
Who are you? You're not one of the station staff.
So he's going to take you prisoner. And while that's playing, I just want to show off the game box, where it has a 68% review score. They were proud of this. Also the title, In Space, Some Things Can Hear You Scream. Like, this wants to be Alien so much. But they were so proud of it, 68%. So he's dead, but he did tell you that the aliens are scared of light, so we'll just turn back on our torch and it scares it off. And we take these two key cards, and we need to remember to do some stuff here. So first off, there's a third key card there. It's actually a red herring. So off up here, we need to take this straitjacket and this locator beacon. Then we need to examine his body, because there's some stuff on him we need, and we'll soft lock if we don't. Then we use the key card on this one. Guard this room. We need this one thing in it. Guard this room. Nothing to do here except go to the next room. Guard this room. We open the robot here and come back out. You see the amount of effort put into stuff? Yeah. The amount of effort put into stuff here is crazy. That doesn't matter. I like to suppose, like, you use the glue on the guy's hand, and then you glue his hand onto the one of the two panels. Then you use the other one, and you can open up the door. I actually like that puzzle. It's kind of smart. This, however, room, nothing to do. Go to the next room. This room shouldn't actually be here because you're just kind of going right, and Use the keypad. Use the keycard on the keypad. And I love the pettiness of this. You want to take some grease off the desk here. I love how petty that is. He just had no reason to do that. So we have to give this guy food. So we're giving this guy food. I want people to remember this. So I give him food and he'll leave us alone while we unplug one of the control panels here, and we can plug in a battery we got to charge. And because he's done that, we can now open up here. There's an alarm here we need to cut because there's some survivors wandering around the base. They're not killing the aliens, by the way. They're just wandering around the base, stopping other people from taking supplies. So we cut the alarm cable. Then we have to use the battery here to open it. And on the food dispenser, and we take food. So we used food to get food. You can't use the food you got earlier later on, and you can't get that food without it. So you're using food to get food. We open this door and we're going into the next hub. So we use the door panel here to open the door. So again, that's kind of a puzzle, right? And we're press the button here to go up a floor, and we're now locked into the final hub of the game. So if we forgot to take anything, we're actually screwed. You can't go back. So we take the lamp, we take the bulb, we take a tank of oxygen here in a chain. We have to use this bulb with our original light to make it a more powerful light. The game doesn't tell you you're doing that. It didn't actually work there. 1 second now. Use the neon with the... Here we go. And gorgeous room here, nothing to do other than, once again, open up the next door. And we have to use... Top thing I forgot it, thank God I didn't. We cut off the slime here. And this room here, if you try to go in here without getting the upgraded light, you immediately walk back out. It doesn't tell you what's happening, just you can't do it. Gorgeous art, nothing to do but come into this room for a second. And to a gorgeous room with some animation. You take this one jar and you come back out. There's nothing else to look at or do in that room, by the way. I'm not just, this isn't just speedruns, there's literally nothing else to do in that room. So, this is the stupidest puzzle in the game. And it has a quite unintentionally funny cutscene. And we'll see in a second. So, there's some more floor fans. We just turn off these so we can get out. Otherwise, it's instant death if you go through here. There's no map for this area, you just have to trial and error. Go here. And think right once more, yeah. And here's the grease that the guy threw into the vent earlier on. So the whole reason we went in there to talk to him was to pick up the grease, was to make this exact thing happen. So we're coming all the way back to the start area, and I think I have this right. Alright, and I think one more straight and that's it. If you're right. I am, okay. So, we use the resize gun. Where is it? We use the resize gun on the grease to make a bigger tube of grease. You use the grease on the floor. You use the chain on this, and then you turn off your light to attract the alien, and then this happens. Yeah. Absolute Looney Tunes. Completely doesn't match the tone of the game because it has kind of darkish moments, but like, yeah, it just how are you supposed to know you're supposed to even do that? You don't. The game doesn't tell you, oh, I need more grease than that. It just it just boggles the mind. This one is kind of annoying as well. So you use this lever here, it breaks, you put this jacket shard of metal into it, and then you use the straight jacket on it so you can turn it. And now you're into the final area of the game. So there's a room in here. If you go in there, there's a puzzle where you come back out of the room. Instead, we do the one of use the door panel to open the door, which again is a Very good puzzle. We take a bit of plastic here so we don't do a walk of shame later on. We take this bulb off the ground and we use the bulb on a secondary torch we grabbed earlier on. And there's a 1 pixel of a key right there, which is super annoying. So be very careful here what we actually do. So we need to fix that with the tape. We need to open the window. We need to look out the window. See, there's a person out there in the walkway. We need to take the space station. We need to use PC first. And that turns on the hand scanner here. We need to use the PC again. We need to ask any question that tells us we don't have the security clearance. And then we come out. And now we're going to actually rescue our girlfriend, who, by the way, this entire time we've been trying to rescue our girlfriend, we now actually see her. And she's out. She managed to get her belt stuck on a walkway out in the space for no reason. So, yeah. One second. And we rescue her like a sane person would. We grab our fire axe. And we swing wildly at her belt. So she doesn't know who it is, by the way. She just sees a person in space to come near her and just swinging a fire axe, which I love. So, yeah. Going in here. And now we can talk to her. Right, so we don't care about anything she says. We just give her the food. So that's the reason I grabbed the food pack. And we give her the oxygen tank because she was out there for so long, she almost ran out of oxygen. So we need to do that, otherwise we're locked out of the actual end game. You get soft lock if you haven't picked up those 2 things, by the way, so yeah. And we're coming back out here. And because of her with us, she can open this door panel to open the door, which is, again, use door panel to open door. We open this door. And we take a jug of booze and we open this door to grab another key and come all the way back out. We use the key card on the crane controls and we come in here. And we grab an item, we don't know what it is. If you try and examine it, he just goes, I don't know what it is. We grab a chain and then this thing, he just says, it's a bit of machinery, we just know what it is. And then we use the resize gun, which the game will in no way tell you to do. So we use the resize gun in here to make it bigger so it falls down and breaks a hole into the area below instead of just opening the door. And then we have another kind of idiotic puzzle. So we use the fire axe to pry off the arm of this mech. We use the bit of machinery we got, which we don't know what it does. Then we use a chain with it and go, oh right, it's actually a winch. And then we use a button on the side to move debris out of the way. So at this point of the game, if you hadn't fed your girlfriend, you can't proceed any further. Keep saying, I need food, and you'll just make it turn around. Gorgeous artwork here, nothing to do. Gorgeous artwork does mean one thing to do, and that is use a fire axe on the stud. Then use the door panel to open the door, so that's a puzzle. Now we have a trash puzzle. So this is, you use this key you picked up to unlock this control, to turn off this. Then you take the broken power supply, you take the broken crystal, it doesn't even tell you it's power supply. Get the fixed crystal and then suck them around. And then you have an even stupider thing where you need to use the glue you picked up earlier on with the plastic. Use the plastic here. That's not enough. You also need to use the torch with the bulb you made earlier. I said use a torch with the bulb earlier. And that seals it properly. And then you turn this back on. If you don't do all of this, the survivors can't escape the base. So we're coming all the way back out, and now we're going to meet the captain. So here's the first other survivor who's not a complete asshole. So we'll just talk to this guy and we just give him some booze and he'll just bypass everything. Yeah, go talk to the captain, don't worry about it. Speaking of the captain, he's in this room here. and we are just mashing through all of his dialogue. So we find out there's stuff like there's a CEO on board the space station who flew off on a escape craft with research data, and he said he left a broadcast going saying there was an alien virus. Title drop. That's why nobody should come near the base. And the alien virus doesn't exist, so we need to actually get rid of that distress thing because there's a cargo ship outside that won't come in until we give it the all clear, and that'll rescue the survivors. But we can't rescue the survivors either because we need a beacon to light the way, and we'd have the power fix and a lot of other random bits of crap. And if we had everything done perfectly, we'll actually get a game over here in a second, but I think I've everything done. So we use a terminal here. Sorry. Use the hand scanner again, then use the terminal. And we tell it what's the status, and we turn off that. We ask it when it's there. So we tell it it's okay, and then we need to use the PC to connect up to our own ship, and then we tell it to do this. And what's the next one? I need to. And then we have the cutscene where all the survivors get rescued, and it's really touching and sweet, and it's. I haven't talked about the music yet. This is public domain 90s corporate music. It in no way suits any of the mood or tone the game is going for. So I mean, like, this is like literally over like a corporate training video, not, you know, alien incursion. No, I'll skip there because it just flies off and then we're going to start skipping out. So we're right on cue for finishing up the game, so we're like literally about a minute off. So if we've done anything wrong, if we're going to try and use the self-destruct sequence here, if you have anything done wrong, it'll just immediately activate when you hit yes, and it's fine. Okay, if you've done anything wrong or missed a single step of talking to the captain and all the stuff in that room, you die. It just triggers straight away and it's game over. And we're right about near the end of the game, and we just need to. This time we can walk out here and use this, and then we just click into our ship, and that is GG, game over. So I'll let this play out. How are we doing on time, guys? Are we let any cutscene play out, or do you want me to move on?
Yeah, you got all the time you need.
Perfect. Yeah, let's let this play out because it's kind of goofy.
Oh yeah.
So this kind of sets up a sequel that never happened. Because the CEO escaped and all, like who you've never saw, never met, and is mentioned the last 5 minutes of gameplay. Even speedrun wise, he's only mentioned without speedrun playing this casually. He's literally mentioned like in the last 10 minutes of gameplay. It's ridiculous. And so he's escaped off, and you talk about we might go after him and try and bring him to justice for all the experiments he was running on board the base. And that's it. Well, yeah. So if I let the ending cutscene play out here, the credits, it actually goes up with to be continued in the bottom right hand corner, but yeah, it didn't get that. So okay, that is Alien Virus down. So I'm just going to get Silverload set up. So if you guys want to swap over the data, it'll just be 2 seconds. And okay, and this box. Now, unfortunately for this, we actually don't have sound because this tech is very specific. We can skip text, but we can't skip audio. We can't skip spoken lines, so we have to switch this over to text only, which is a shame. But lucky enough to run this short enough, and I'll be talking the entire time over this because there's so much tech in this to cover. It's not even funny. But yeah, this is Silverload, another 90s adventure game by the same publisher as Alien Virus. Fun fact for this one, you might be aware of this one as being on the PS1 if you're in the USA, because this had a USA only release on the PS1. But the PS1 version is actually better than this because it has extra game mechanics, the story is more fleshed out, and it is less buggy. But we love this game because it has some really fun tech skips. So we're going playing the generic guy with no name, going into a town, and we're rescuing a small kid who's been kidnapped by an evil preacher and a cult. So we're going to jump straight into this. I'll let you know when I need to turn off the game audio first before I actually start the run. Sorry, I need to lock in. Actually, sorry, I need to mute the game for myself because it actually does PC speaker beeps, and I do not want that. And we turn off the game audio. So time will start when I hit return to game. So 3, 2, 1. Oops. So first off, we'll talk to her and we'll just mash through the dialogue. And the reason I right mouse button to mash through stuff, and he says, a bunch of raiders came in here and stole our kid, and they went into the storm. And he gives us this compass. There is an extra bit of tech I can do here. I'm just going to grab this as well and put it here in the corner. I can skip picking up these goggles because there's a sandstorm in the desert. We don't actually need it because we can actually mash the cursor fast enough to bypass it. But the game can actually kind of crash a little bit and go in black and white only because technically it's a death animation we're skipping, and the game will be stuck in black and white, and nothing you can do will fix it other than restarting the game from the beginning. So we're going to see the corrupt sheriff and the preacher talking here. After this is actually, if you watch the opening cutscene, this guy is like an archaeologist who comes in here to try and find out some background story of the town, and he gets trapped in his room, and his colleague gets killed. Actually, his colleague will meet him later on, and we just mash through everything here. Now, we come into the hotel, we come back out of the hotel, and then we come into the barn/stables. I will keep using the wrong term every time, don't worry about it. So I'm going to dump the goggles out because I don't need them. And we are going to use the stick to barricade the stable door and sleep. What we're supposed to do is go into the hotel and pay for a room, barricade a room behind us, get some more, lower off the guy who's hiding in the other hotel room, skipping all of that. And then we're doing an extra bit of tech where we're not actually unbarricading the door, we're fast traveling back out to the hotel. This puts the stables into a glitch state, we'll see in a minute. And if we talk wrong to this guy, we actually get a... come on, game. Come on. Don't crash, please. There we go. Sometimes the game's clicking on dialogue options doesn't really work properly, but luckily it doesn't happen too much. So you come into the store, and because it's an adventure game, we need to buy some rope. And put the rope in our inventory, and we need to grab some matches, because again, adventure game. So because we didn't actually pay for hotel room or actually pay to stay in the stables, because you can pay for both, we have enough money to buy everything we need in the game. Otherwise, we'd have to do a gambling minigame that actually is RNG unless you do get the cheat for it, and it's really slow. It takes ages to do, and we skip the entire thing, which is a big time save. So I'm going to ask to have a picture taken, and ask him to get his camera. And while he's gone, we need to quickly grab hammer, and we need to grab the hook hand here. And we don't need to photograph this drone on the ground. So if we try to just explore the town without it swapping over to daytime, it's next evening, but yeah, it's daytime. We'd actually instantly die because the game has vampires / werewolves / the game kind of forgets what they are. It's a kind of a curse like vampirism, or like werewolves, but there's vampire stuff in it. The lore here is all over the place. I think they kind of forgot what they were doing, and yeah. So we grab this medallion from the well, and we grab bucket. And I forgot to do something, but well, it's fine. We ball. We'd fast travel back to the hotel because I actually forgot to go into the kitchen and grab some gear. I need to grab this frying pan. And I need to grab this cleaver. So the fast travel map is used for a couple of skips. The best one is actually yet to come. I'll see it in a bit. So I come in here, and it's probably one of the screenshots everybody knows about this game is those. And there's a guy in the hotel room, unfortunately, we don't see, but it's got a guy creeping the window. I go like, oh, it's from this game. So use the cleaver on the pig, unfortunately. And then we use the bucket to get a bucket of blood. So this kind of leads towards them being vampires, right? And we'll see that they're not quite in a minute. So here's a guy who can't control himself if you do anything else in the room. So we just give him a bucket of blood and game. There we go. And that's a vampire because he doesn't transform into a werewolf or anything. He does that. So we come in there to grab some tongs. That's the only reason to come in there. And now we're going to the saloon for the first time. And this guy out front who wants some booze, so we're going to give it to him. So we click on ale once, and we carefully, if you mash too much, you actually close the prompt. So you have to do it all over again. And put the booze in our inventory, come back out, and we give it to him. It's great, and he's so grateful to us. He asked for another one. So we oblige. You might think, but Speedrun Rise, could we not just buy two at the same time? You can't. Here, the guy will go like, no, you already have one. I don't need the second one. So we come back outside and we give him this, and it puts him to sleep so we can rob his tooth on his cart. So we need to grab this crowbar. And we need to grab this sledgehammer. And it should now swap to next night. If you've everything done right, you should now get a transition to nighttime. If you haven't, you've missed something because it's kind of an in-game timer, but it's based on actions, not actual time. So you can't break into the town hall unless it's nighttime. So let's do that. And I'll let this cutscene play for a little bit. We're okay on time. So this kind of puts them back to being werewolves, right? Because that's a werewolf. But it's a vampire earlier on. And yeah. So that was the town's mayor. Put the key in the file. So a lot of this stuff is nice. If you have this thing in your inventory, it just uses it. So there's a few items we don't care where they are in our inventory, so we put them onto one pile just to make it a bit easier for moving around. We grab this magic spell. And there's a single pixel there over the guy's head. That's why I clicked on it before I clicked on it. And that's a keyhole, and now we can open this secret chamber. Magic circle in the ground, so of course we use the magic spell. And we teleport. So this orb here, there's a barrier on the outskirts of the far side of the town that stops you going over to the church and to the silver mines. We need to defeat it with the power of friendship and this sledgehammer. Mostly the sledgehammer. And so now the spell is gone. It's great. And we can grab this magic spell here and we teleport straight back to the barn or to the hotel. And the game actually has multiple solutions here. So there's torch or there's a lamp down here that we need to light. So if we actually did another bit of lore, we actually get cursed and we actually have night vision, and we don't need to do this, but we do on this version. And we head back over and we take out a second match. So this is tech I found. You don't need to get the matchbook out fully. You just need to take the second match out. And because we did it earlier on for the barn, where you teleported out of the barn, it's still locked, so we can actually sleep here. You're not supposed to be able to do this. You're not supposed to be able to sleep in the barn twice. You're supposed to go off and do another side quest, talking to Sheila in the pub, and you end up sleeping in her place, and all of her quest line is entirely skipped in this, which is great. So we're teleporting straight back to here, and if you try to go here without destroying that orb, you immediately die because there's a spell protecting it. So I'm going to close this, otherwise it's off an alarm. We take the cult's rope, put it here, and using the telescope unlocks a train down the tracks as a fast travel hotspot, and that becomes very relevant in a little bit. So as you see the same symbol over the thing, we give it the hint, and we examine the boots here. We take this. We should take the gloves if on another version we're doing. If you are cursed, you can't actually pick up silver in the mines and they have the gloves because it's a nice touch, because they're allergic to silver, which is you need to kill them. So we have to blocking the entrance to the mine with that cart. Okay, so bear that in mind. And we need to make a little grappling hook because, of course, you do. And if you forgot to go back up the rope, you have to do a walk of shame. So I'm actually going to save here because I can misclick. And so save game, which is return to game. Right. So there's a cool skip here where the sheriff's men are all outside the mine. If we try to go outside, we start a gunfight sequence and people die. So if we grab the silver and put it here, and we grab the dynamite carefully, come on, and quickly open our inventory and then the map, we can fast travel to the train. You can't do that if you close the inventory, but it's still active for that little bit where you can do it. It's great. So that bypassed a long cutscene sequence, bypassed a large bypassed some combat. That skip was found by the original runner of this, JFC, and I built on some tech from this. I currently have the world record for this, but it's all based on tech that JFC did originally. So huge shout out to him. He's the original guy who found out all this stuff. And so now we need to make some silver bullets. So we melted some silver in the pan. We're grabbing the tongs to take the melted silver back out, and the gun press we got in the gun shop. We use that to make bullets. Come on, it's really finicky hotspot. Here we go. And silver bullets need to be in our inventory along with our gun. And then walking back out here should trigger a cutscene. It does. We've done everything right. So if you're infected here, there's actually a cool thing where you can actually get a temporary cure. If you don't have your inventory, it's an instant game over. You just turn into a werewolf / vampire / vamp werewolf. But because we've everything done right, we didn't get infected, we don't need to worry about that. So we need to kill the sheriff's men with the silver bullets. We shoot him in the crotch because we're classy. So shoot. Sheriff needs to be shot twice. So it's not even really a game. It's just like click, 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 here. The PS1 version actually has a proper like rail shooting section. So this doesn't have it. So we're right on come up to end game here. So we need to go into the church, and I'm going to save here because we can actually get a game over here if I'm not careful. So I'm just going to save again. So I'm going to turn this. And we're going to grab this dynamite and have the base of the church set to explode. So we're going to teleport onto the roof using the other spell we got. And there's a child we're supposed to rescue. So yay, he's safe. Not just yet though. So the vampire's here. So we're going to use guns because that's what the vampires have. And this you have to be, if you misclick here, you're going to game over because you're out of time. But oh, they're not vampires, they're werewolves. They're transformed on the fly, even though there's a full moon already. So again, the game kind of doesn't really know what it's doing. Then we click on the preacher's head like 3 times, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Well, hopefully we didn't game over here, because we have to be super fast. We need to use the magic spell to quickly teleport back. And we get out of the church. And that's it. So the church has exploded, game over, and we're going to see the amazing outro sequence. That's it. That's how the game ends. Thank you for ending Silverload. What can happen if you're not paying attention? If you take too long at the top of the church, it explodes and just kills you outright. There's no do-overs. And you have to, there's like no checkpoint. You have to have remember to have saved and go back to it. So yeah. It's fun. I really like Silverload. It's jank. It has its issues, but like there's a lot of like core good stuff there. Like the voice acting is actually above average. We don't see it unfortunately in their own because we have to turn off the game audio. And there's a few other bits there, and there's a lot of like lore I skipped over, so I highly recommend checking it out casually because I glossed over the entire lore and what's happening with the townsfolk and the curse and Sheila's subplot. All that's gone. But yeah. Okay, so I'm on to my final run of the night, but not the last run of the day. So we're swapping over to the Abyss. I'm just going to swap this over already.
Gentlemen, a Code 1 situation is developed on our deep core undersea
So, sorry to get my splits open here ready so I can track them for myself. So, this is officially licensed sequel to the movie The Abyss. So, there's the NTIs, the alien race from the first movie, have set up a base called the NTI Arc between Europa Station, which is a alien planet, and the deep core platform from the movie. So there's an alien virus on board the base, and we've been asked to come down here by the NTIs to fix it. You might be asking, did you get back Ed Harris or anyone from the movie back? No, nobody's back from here except the name. So I'm skipping all this. I will have to give a content warning here. There is a really bad flashing light a couple of minutes, literally 30 seconds into the run. I'll give a warning just before it happens. And I'll say when it's safe to look back at the screen. It's supposed to be a flickering light bulb in a locker room. It's actually a really bad strobe lighting effect because whatever way they made it, it's just strobe lighting. It's really bad. So if you have any kind of sensitivity for flashing lights, I recommend as soon as I tell you to look away from the screen, look away from the screen. I'll tell you when it's safe. And it'll happen again about the 4 or 5 minute mark as well into the run where you'll have to look away again, so you have to go back into the same room to finish off a puzzle. So keep that in mind. If you're anyway sensitive to lights, please listen to when I say, because I'm not exaggerating. It is a really bad strobe lighting effect. I can't mitigate it. I tried to look at the ground and whatnot. It just doesn't work. It's really bad flashing. But okay, so it doesn't matter which character we play out. The only difference it changes is who speaks the voice line. And so I'll start off with Bud, and time will begin as soon as I hit new game. So I count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So straight away, I'm going to give the flashing light warning. And it's now safe to look back at the screen. Again, really sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about it. So we have to go in to get that blue key card, and now we are grabbing this gel pack. And there's a screwdriver I need to pick up here, because if I forget, I have to do a walk of shame, and I don't want to do that. Perfect, I didn't forget it. And we are seeing a first mutant here. So I forgot to actually say what the category of this is. This is any percent pacifist. This is actually a Doom clone. Well, not quite, but like it's accurate enough way of describing it. So there's guns in that we can pick up. I'm not picking up a single weapon, and we're not using any. We're not killing or defeating any enemies whatsoever. This makes it a bit harder, but it is also actually faster than doing it by grabbing proper weapons. So we're all up there to grab the green gel pack, and now we're coming down into the basement and use the key card here. There's kind of a lip on stuff, which I'll show later on. So grab polywater key. There's 3 polywater keys here. Okay. There we go. Make sure we got all of them. We don't need them till the very last hub of the game, but if we don't pick them up here now, we have to do a lot of stuff later on. So now we have 3 gel things, which are used in the generator. The game doesn't really tell you this, but it's like trial and error, you'll figure it out. Yeah, put in 3 gel packs, and then you turn on the generator. So now we have full power in the base. Get past the mutants. And so there's kind of a lip on an edge on some of the doors and that, for if you're not exactly on facing it full on, it doesn't work properly. And here's a puzzle we're outright skipping. So there's 2 really powerful mutants here who we can't actually even stun properly, even if we had the proper gun. So we're instead hopping on board here, and we're going to run past them. There's a tiny lip, I mean like literally like a millimeter lip in front of the diving helmet, and you can stand on top of that and you're perfectly safe. They can't touch you. So flashing light warning again, by the way. So I'm going back into that room, so be prepared to look away from the screen in a second. I'll let you know when it's safe, so keep looking away. And it's safe to look back at the screen. Don't worry, it's safe from here on out. You can't pick up both in one go. You have to do them in that order. It's so stupid. So now we need to grab the red card key. And this is literally run straight in here, grab it, and come back out. There's equipment down in that puddle. We do not want to go in there because it's too much for pain, and swimming up and down takes a while, so we don't want to do that. I haven't talked about the controls, by the way. They're non-mappable, and it's arrow keys to move, A to jump, and spacebar to interact. So I grabbed a metal panel there. The controls, by the way, are awful. It's not good. So there's panels here on the ground. So I need to grab all 3 of them. And I'm mashing the spacebar to finish off the floor tiling over electrical thing. And we're coming straight in here. There's the ignition keys for the base to move it off the rocks are on here. There's a guy in the room. I'm completely ignoring him. I've been kind of ignoring a lot of the game mechanics as well here. On the bottom left of the screen, you'll see there's actually kind of a radar. That's kind of infection rating for how close an infected person is next to you. Top left is my health, and top right is my oxygen supply. Okay, and we are now out of the first hub of the game.
I'm going down. Wish me luck.
So these cutscenes are kind of where the character choice changes. So it auto changes the voice line of who actually says the line, not the actual dialogue itself, just who actually says it. So it kind of alternates between this comic book style and this like CGI stuff.
Loud and clear.
It's like that. You hear her talking instead of him. So now we're on board the NTI Arc, which is the second of the 3 hubs of the game. And we need to actually enter the base properly. This is kind of confusingly laid out. So this is kind of like, imagine like a pie plate. And it's divided into 8 sectors. And you travel from sector to sector all around clockwise, except you can't go... you can't travel between sectors 6 and 8. Sorry, 6 and 7. So we're skipping. So there's guns that we can pick up here. We're completely ignoring them. So we need to, because of how this is laid out, we need to go right first to sector 8 to use the to do a thing, and then we need to go all the way back around. So for this, there is 4 power nodes we need to set up, which sets off a thing. And this is center, left, right, and then you're hugging the wall to open the secret passage. There's nowhere in the game that tells you to do that, by the way. And that's the first power relay done. So we need to turn on 4 power relays so we can pilot a ship over to Europa station. And also we need to get the first part of the mutagen cure, which is on the bottom floor of this complex. But we'll grab that at the very end of this level. So in fact, this is fairly ambitious for like a 97 game. It actually has open hub level, kind of like a Hexen had, and you can freely walk around between the areas. And you're just trying to find this more emphasis on exploration than anything else. So we are skip to the second one, and we are turning on the next one here. So this one is left, right, center, and then straight through. The floor panels are different, and there's no actual solution for it. It's just trial and error, and if you actually mess up setting them up, resetting them is actually an absolute pain. So we are heading to the next one. So that's 2 done. So it's every even numbered one has the actual has the power relay. So we're on sector 3 at the moment. So we're heading over to sector 4 for the next one. And this section here is why hitless is pretty much impossible, because the damage, you get shot in the back randomly and there's nothing you can do about it other than hope they don't take too much damage. Health, if you're doing pacifists, we're not doing actually any combat for a while, or at all in this, health isn't really that big a deal in this hub, or even the first one, as you saw. The third hub, however, it is a deal, and that makes this category extremely hard. So we're going left here, and this one is mean. It's actually if the door to the chamber is open, the side panel is open. So door panels here mean absolutely nothing. This door here, that's the only thing that matters. So if that door is open, the side door is open. The floor panels mean absolutely nothing. It took me ages to try and figure out what the hell the pattern was. Then I went like, it cannot be that easy, and like, oh, you son of bitches. Okay, acting airlock and bump. We are right. Yeah, we're going right, and we're going straight to the last section of this sector. So there's 3 hubs of the game, and we've almost finished the second one. So think, wow, this must be a really short run. The third hub is the longest, and it's the most difficult. And I have seen this game, as someone said to me, it kind of reminds them of Windows, the Windows 95 Maze screensaver. And this one, yeah, I can see it, but the third hub definitely has that. The puzzle situation is the exact same as the first one, so it's center, left, right, and then all around the sides as well. I'm actually being a bit risky there because I should be safely saving, because if you accidentally hit over one of the panels twice, and you can do it, it completely resets it. So now we're heading down to the base, and so there is a kind of a fast travel-ish here, or shortcuts, where if you hit these buttons and go down, you go down to the lower level, and there's a kind of like a spoke, like 4 corridors, and each one brings you up to one of the even numbered ones above. This room, by the way, is super annoying. All the side corridors here have no items, but they have loads of enemies. And the enemies here hit like an absolute truck. And if you didn't pick up the charge pack for the gun, you only have 3 shots for this entire section, which is super super annoying. You just 3 shots, then you have to go back up and charge it. Heading left and right. We're actually doing fairly okay for this part. Left. So now this is where the game is kind of mean. There's actually a hidden door in this section where the end of the game is end of the level is actually located behind, which is super annoying. So we're grabbing health to just be at full health. Don't really need it, but just be at full health. So there's a robot in a secret panel here on the left. And we're hoping it's on the left hand side as it come down here. It is perfect. So it doesn't hit us, it's fine. And we need to run into this door switch here. Game, quickly. It's stuck in the door and through here. If you don't hit that door, you die. The door switch, you die. So we've now gotten on board this ship to take us to the Europa station, which is the title of the game. I actually forgot to do it again. This Internet Europa, and unfortunately I don't think that offer for the free videotape is still valid. But yeah, that door that airlock you flew through, there's actually a force field in front of it. If you don't hit that button outside the chamber, it's still active and the cutscene still plays up until that point. And it just like that's it. It just flies into it and explodes. There's nothing you can do about it. Go like, how the hell was I supposed to know that? You don't. Trial and error. So let this cutscene play out a little because it's one of the more pretty ones. So again, CGI and / comic book stuff. So kind of alternates between the two. And now the worst run part of the game. So I'm actually going to do a safety save here because I can take a bit too much damage here and I don't want to, because health management is really important in this. Get a free full heal here and we want to bypass this robot. That's fine, didn't take too much damage. And this is the really narrow corridors, enemies in the hub of the game, and it is super annoying. And also, there's no in-game map, by the way. I'm just not like, oh, press tab brings up minimap. There's nothing for this. Routing this, I actually had to make the maps up from scratch with using MS Paint and just try and error and just draw them all out, and it's just super annoying. If you go into Game FAQs, by the way, you can find walkthroughs for this with all the maps up. The polywater key we picked up on the very first hub of the game. They're only used in this section to open these. Well, you can use them on the previous section, but there's no reason to use them. But we have 3 in that one room near the start, and that's exactly what we need to finish the game. We need exactly 3 of those keys to open up 3 keys in the final hub. And every other item in the game will just go out for inventory, but except for those. Oh, sorry, there's one more item, but we didn't pick it up. There's actually a translator for the NTI. Oh, that could be bad. There's actually a translator for the NTIs, and we're not picking it up, and we'll see it in a second. So we're going into the first of 4 mini-hub hangars, which bring us to a separate underwater cavern. And it doesn't matter which cavern you go to, or which mini-sub you take, they'll always take you to the next one in the sequence. So let the first one play out the first time just to show it off. Again, because they're doing okay on time. And yeah. So the first one, it's straightforward. We just take this door on the left.
What is this place?
And hear this.
Sure is hot down here.
Those squawking noises is the NTI talking to you. If you pick up the translator, you actually hear what you actually get some background information about what's happening. But this is where you see the first bit of meanness the game has. The wall textures make it really hard to see turnoffs. And also, if you went straight there, it brings you up into a nice, big, long looping corridor that has absolutely nothing in it except for one enemy, and then you turn around and walk all the way back. And then you come back and say, oh, there's another turnoff here, and you grab this bit of metal, and that's it. There's no other reason for it. There's nothing else to do in there, and it's just busy work. There is technically maps you can find of this, but it's so not even worth it, because the maps are like a small bit on a terminal window that cycles through them. There's like no indication of which one is which, what they're even for. So that's the first mini sub hangar down. There's 3 more to go, and I'll just play off this one because it's the last of the actual. Because it's the same cutscenes play each time, so I'm not going to show off every single one because it's just repetitive. But yeah. So each one of these, we always exit in the same way. We jump up, we turn left, we avoid a mutant, and we run straight to the door here. And we kind of hug the right-hand wall for the most part, and we take the next one, because they're arranged in kind of like 4 quadrants around the center. Oh, that could have been bad. And then we'll have to do a safety save here in the next area, because the game can actually crash. So another cavern here. So this is like kind of the Windows maze screensaver. So anyway, this section really gives that vibe. So I'm going to save here. So we picked up that metal thing here, and putting it down can actually cause the game to crash. I don't know why, it just does it randomly. And I'm going to save here again because health management is once again super important. So we have first-person platforming. I bet you didn't think that would be in this game. So we can afford to tank some hits, in fact, and we will be as well. That's fine, yeah. It's once I don't go below like a quarter health, I'm fairly okay with this. But I will save coming back out, because if I take too much damage, it's better off if I just reload. Yeah, I'm going to reload that. That was too bad. It's more difficult than it looks, because the A button is jump, and I can use the arrow keys, and there's no mouse, by the way, there's no mouse controls in this whatsoever. There we go, that's fine. I can do this. Now I'm going to save again here for one reason. The game kind of pushes you towards the left as you come out here, and it can just push you into the pit for no reason. You could be walking perfectly straight in the game and just kind of lurch you to one side and just fall into the pit, and that's it, you die. There's no continues, by the way. You start off right back at the very beginning of the game. Not the hub, by the way, not here in Europa Station. You start all the way back at the very first level on Europa Station, on Deep Core platform. It is mean. So now we see the first section of why pacifist percentage is really difficult. So it's so bad, I'm actually going to save here. So there's a guy around here. Perfect. I need to lure him away from that boulder, because it's a very narrow corridor behind it, and he'll start following me in. I need to come back out the same way. and he blocks the entire thing, and you can't get past him, and you die. So I'm just to kind of mess up his AI. I'm jumping around some of the smaller rocks, and we need to be very fast here because he will home in on us, and if we cannot be at the start entrance when we come back out. We grab that, and we come back out. And if we've done everything right, hopefully he is not blocking the way out. We're good. Yeah, it's very mean because if you haven't got even got the best weapon in the game, the force containment field projector, it's actually borderline impossible to even do that part. If he's in there, because the other guns take a load of ammo, and there's actually no way to recharge the other guns in this section. So if you haven't found it, and by the way, it's a hidden item, you're probably going to end up saving and reloading that section the entire time. So 3 out of the 4 caverns done. Great. Should be easy, right? This is the longest one, and it's not the hardest, but it's the most annoying for navigating. So I'm just going to save here in case I mess up. Let's hop up my inventory. So we have to do this in a very specific route. So we need to get some moss to insulate our suit, and we have to do it by jumping over these instant death platforms out here. And I'm going to be saving here again in a second. And because there is a corridor of death here, and I have lost so many runs on this section, it's not even funny. I've been on world record pace and then immediately got bodied here. So run past that guy, that's fine. There's a bunch of other guys in here, and we're hoping by hugging the right hand wall, and then the left. That's why we save. It is entirely RNG where they're placed in this. They can be spread out, they can be all together, all of them can be there in the one go. I kind of took a hit there, that's fine. I'm not too much worried about health after this section.
Hey, this stuff really shields me from the heat.
I just have to get past these guys again, so get around them on the left, get around them on the left, and around them on the... So, right, so try this again. I'll do a safe save in the other cavern. Because, again, pacifists, we have to avoid these. If we were playing with the guns, we can actually stun a chunk of them and run past. And also they bunch up. So, we are going to try this again. Game. Are you kidding me? Okay, finally. Past that. And there's one more guy here. That's fine. Okay, now we're safe. And we're running all the way straight through here. And now we're going to this cavern here on the right. So if you try going here earlier on, there's a pool of water you can't go into because the water is too hot. So I had to go all the way over there to grab some fungus mold stuff to just rub all over our suit, which makes it heat resistance. And I'm actually going to save here because it's very easy to get lost in these sections. So hopefully I don't. Left. I think I'm doing okay. Left here, boom, and I should be out into the next area. You can't swim too close to the ceiling here because you actually bump up against it and you stop dead, and you don't want that because oxygen is very tight. So I'm going to save here in a second as soon as I get through to the next cavern. And now we have more platforming. So there's some enemies down below us, don't worry. Even though they have like wings, it doesn't matter, they can't fly. First try, yay. I did like 3 practice runs earlier on today, and each single one of them I fell, so I'm kind of glad I got that first try. It would be nice to get the other cavern first try as well. But anyway, so we'll just jump straight down because we have enough health to tank it. And I'm going to save again before I go back into the water because it is, again, ridiculously easy to get turned around here. And we're heading all the way back to the mini-sub thing. So I should be turning left here. And I think left again will let me out. And then straight ahead here should bring me out. If I don't see the radar pop up in the bottom left, I'm in the right. I went out the right one and didn't get turned around. Jumping next, don't want to fall into the water. I'm good, yeah. So we hug the left-hand wall to come back out, and we hug it again. And this is the 4th cavern done, but we're not quite done with the run just yet, but we are very, very close to the end. So we have all 3 parts of the cure. And now we need to actually make it. So there's a lab here in this section, and I'm going to save in a second because I can get one-shotted here by an enemy here. That's fine. He usually takes his finger to you, it's fine, he does martial damage, but sometimes if he's right in front of you, because it's hard to judge these narrow corridors, he'll just kill you because he's right in front of you. So we use the polywater key here on the second last door we use it on. I'm going to grab the health here, so we've no worries about that. And then here's the cure maker. So mutation cure completed. And the guy actually starts trying to talk to you there. He tells you need to actually deploy the cure on the control room and then power up the full command. So we are right at the end of the game, like literally less than a minute left. So we need to get back to the command room, and that's actually right near where we started off the game. And we're taking a shortcut through the room here. So we're going through this mini sub hangar, which is the first one we actually went through. And going all the way around. And we need to use the final key in the door here, and then we are about to get game over. So yeah, there's 2 switches here we need to press, and as soon as the second switch is pressed, it's GG. So power up and boom. That's it. Okay. Oh, that was a that was a long session of games. So yeah, I've been VJ Smith. This has been Aliens: A Comic Adventure, Alien Virus, Silverload, and the Abyss Incident at Europa. Hope folks have enjoyed all this, but the festivities are not over yet, and Irish stuff isn't even over yet because the next runner is also Irish. So hang around for them and give them a huge welcome. So if you need to find me, I'm VJ Smith on Twitch and on speedrun.com. And if you need any information on these games, hit me up. I've written walkthroughs for most of these. They're up on Game FAQs and on speedrun.com. And I love talking about these stuff, so yeah.
Although this expedition was extremely unorthodox, it has been met with complete gratitude by both our governments and by the NTIs. In fact, the NTIs have asked that the Brigmans be escorted to Europa to help them finish the final details of terraforming. As it turns out, Earth, and probably countless other
Huge shout out to VJ, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Jeez.
And that's it.
And up next we got Vin and studio system guardian angel.